ask Corporation Council Edwards if she would lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Marcanti.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
D'Amici. Here. Riley. Seabury. Stanley. Taylor.
Here.
Mola.
Here.
Legashev. Alice. Carol.
Present.
Sadi. Visconti.
Present.
Trombetta. Knapp.
Here.
Nero. Perkins. Junice.
Present.
Otello.
Here.
Heicholz. Present. And Scarpelli.
The record reflects that there are 11 members present, 10 members absent. I can tell you that Mr. Riley is still recovering from illness. Mr. Seabury is out of town for the holiday. Mrs. Stanley is attending a family funeral wake this evening. Mr. Nagerseth is working. Mr. Hallis is at a family function. Mr. Sadi is at a military duty function. Mr. Trombetta is working. Mr. Nero, wife had surgery today, and he is attending to her. Mr. Perkins is teaching, and Mr. Scazzafava is on his way. He was working late and just got home and doing a turnaround and heading back this direction. So we will have 12 members present. We read the notice. Legal notice is hereby given that the City Council, City of Danbury, will hold public hearings at which parties and interested citizens will have an opportunity to be heard in relation to the following: copies of which are on file in the Legislative Assistance Office for public inspection. Item number 1, restrict private businesses from sewage processing, Code of Ordinances, Section 16-1 and Section 16-14. Item number 2, downtown municipal sewer and water fees, Code of Ordinance, Section 16-4 and Section 21-48. And number 3 is expansion of city center district, Code of Ordinance, Section 19B-4 and Section 19B-10. Said public hearing will be held on Tuesday, the 22nd day of November, 2011 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers in City Hall, 155 Deer Hill Avenue, Danbury, Connecticut. Tested by Gene Vitale, legislative assistant. And just a notice to the council members present that immediately following the public hearing, we will be having committee of the whole to take up action on all 3 items before us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, during the public hearing portion of this, we are here to listen to you. We don't ask and answer questions. We are here to listen to your input and what your feelings are on the items that are before us tonight. And then we will retire to committee of the whole, which we will discuss issues with our department heads. If you have questions, usually one of us will write them down and ask that all our department heads. So, just so you know, if you ask us a question and we don't answer, it's because that's not the function of the public hearing. We are using the microphone, Mr.
Yes, we are. You betcha.
You are a brave soul.
Please work.
You are a brave soul. For those of you that don't know, we've been having PA system problems here for quite some time, and it's not that we haven't been trying to get them resolved, it's just that they're not able to get them resolved. So please bear with us if the microphone system goes down. Okay, item number 1, restrict private businesses from sewer processing, Code of Ordinances, Section 16-1 and Section 16-14. Is there any member of the public that wishes to address this? Is there any? I'm hoping everyone can hear me.
Okay.
Can everyone hear me?
Sure.
Okay, because I'm not touching that.
I understand.
Is there any member of the public that wishes to address the council on item number 1? Any member of the public wishing to address the council on item number 1? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 2, downtown municipal sewer and water fees, Code of Ordinance, Section 16-4 and section 21-48. Is there any member of the public that wishes to address the council on item number 2? Any member of the public wishing to address the council on item 2? Any member of the public wishing to address the council on item number 2? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3, expansion of city center district, code of ordinance, section 19B-4 and section 19B-10. There's probably nobody here to talk to us about that. Any member of the public wishes to address the council on item number 3?
Hi, I'm Ray Gardner. Do I give my address, or is that just the city?
Yes.
16 Haystown Road in Danbury, and I'm also executive director of City Center Danbury. I had provided a packet of information to council members prior to the meeting. I don't know if you had a chance to review them, but I also have copies with me if anyone's interested in following along.
Mr. Shepard, is that as loud as that was at this point?
Well, we can't go up. You have to swallow it, Andrea. There you go.
Can we raise it a little bit further?
That's not it off.
Did somebody say we have problems with this?
Maybe it's just been a loose wire all along.
All right, does that help? Part of the district expansion speaks to what we're trying to achieve at City Center, which is continuing to bring attention to our downtown, to revitalize our downtown, and to focus in the future of creating an urban core. In this packet, I put letters of some information. One thing the expansion would provide for us is an increase in resources available to us. In the last 4 years, we've been augmenting the existing calendar events that City Center has done in the past, including the summer concert series, Taste of Danbury, Halloween on the Green, Light the Lights. But we've since also added some other events, Chili Ridge Warm-Up, the Connecticut Film Festival, Chaiho Indian Festival, a regional Y 10K run. We also did a Memorial Day 5K this year. And we're very heavily involved with First Night, even though that is a separate organization. And we're really, consistently, we hear that people enjoy coming downtown for events, and we would like to continue to build up on that calendar. Also in the packet is an overview of where we are with downtown revitalization. Part of that is on a re-energized board, and just putting downtown Danbury development into the context of other downtowns. There's continuing challenges to developing downtowns. One is there's generally a myriad of property owners. An organization like City Center helps speak with one voice, representing all the property owners, and serves as a economic development vehicle to further the interests of the property owners, and also to unite their, at least organize some additional resources. And that's hopefully the intention of this expansion as well. One of our board members, Dan Bertram's, offered to provide the parcel that's on Kennedy Avenue, and in that it would round out the site to be developed that's known as the Kennedy Place. Part of the packet too, there's also a map which shows the overlay of 3 different areas. The red dotted line map is the downtown revitalization zone, which is an area of study that came about through the Main Street Renaissance Task Force, and is part of the recommendations made by that task force to include improvements and incentives for development in that area. The yellow lines are the current City Center district map, and then the blue shaded area would be the addition of the parcel. And I think if you look at the map, you can see that a big portion of City Center, with or without this parcel, is encompassed in the downtown revitalization zone. I also provided in the packet a structure, organizational structure of City Center, but just give city council members a visual sense of really the different activities we're involved in and how we're organized, and how I will say we do manage to accomplish a lot with limited resources, and any way that we can increase our resources is something that we're looking at, and the expansion of the district will provide for that. I also have 3 letters that I'd like to read, provided by people in support of the expansion. These are all city council members, not city council members, city center commissioners. This one's from Augie Ribeiro, the principal in Ribeiro and Smith. Dear members of the City Council, as a downtown city center property owner, I urge you to expand our downtown district. As a commissioner on the City Center Board, I ask for your participation and energetic support of our continued efforts to support the City Center's efforts to promote revitalization. Over the past years, I've seen our City Center's board grow to include some extraordinary leaders from the major businesses and institutions of downtown Danbury. Our leaders, including Andrea Gartner and Tom Devine, have worked passionately to build momentum downtown. We also, as a board, continue to search and recruit new leaders and new forms of financial assistance for our initiatives. Like you, many of us on the board are volunteers. We share one goal, which is to unite to ignite a great downtown. Finally, my law firm, Ventura Rivera & Smith, is sponsoring a holiday charity event at our office, 235 Main Street, on December 6th at 5 p.m. in an effort to raise awareness and funds for the Hispanic Center. The Danbury Whalers hockey team and City Center board members will be in attendance. I ask you to consider attending our event on this day. Thank you for all your great work on behalf of the City of Danbury. I apologize for not being physically present, as I have a family obligation this evening. Sincerely, Augustino J. Rivera. This one is from Paul Steinmetz. He's the Interim Associate Vice President of Institutional Advancement for Western Connecticut State University. To the Honorable Mayor Mark Boughton and the members of the Danbury County Council, Western Connecticut State University supports the proposal to expand City Center's boundaries to include the former Amphenol site, now called Kennedy Place. Western believes that a strong downtown contributes to the viability and interest of Danbury overall, and therefore strengthens the university's ability to continue to grow and contribute to the community. A WCSU representative has sat on the City Center board for several years as part of our commitment to a strong local partnership of residents, businesses, and government. Western will continue to work to support Danbury, the region, and state. To that end, a strong city center helps all of us achieve our goals. Sincerely, Paul Steinmetz. And lastly, this is from Robert Steinberg, property owner for a business called Pristine Investments, LLC. Dear council members, we are in support of the expansion of the downtown tax district to include BRT's Kennedy Avenue parcel. The establishment of shared mutual goals of the City of Danbury and the tax district to improve and revitalize City Center are essential to the building of a strong community, both financially and structurally. The positive effects extend beyond the central city, as every city is ultimately defined by its main streets, its central core. Our properties are stable and strong. However, in the current economic state, it is certainly more difficult to make the common improvements necessary in the central city without additional resources. Mr. Bertram's offer to expand the district to include his Kennedy Avenue property demonstrates the type of creative growth that is essential to the common goals. Potential planned and improved use of the site for housing, retail, and office development needs to be encouraged at every level of government and approval agencies in our city. I urge the City Council and the Mayor to approve the expansion of the downtown tax district for this applicant, and further to investigate methods jointly with City Center to create a more streamlined manner to do so in the future. Very truly, yours, Robert Steinberg. And that's what I have.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. Is there any other member of the public? Mr. Devine?
Good evening. My name is Tom Devine. I am a property owner at 2B I Street, 261 Main Street, 5 I Street, owner of Two Steps Downtown Grill, and also chairman of the City Center Danbury. I don't want you to think that City Center is just events. That's not all we do. We have a budget of about $200,000 that we get from our tax dollars. We leverage that and almost double that through sponsorships of events that we do to enable the other things that we do throughout the downtown. You think about maintenance. We supplement the maintenance of the City of Danbury with one of our employees that's out there sweeping the streets with the street cleaner. We talk a lot about urban design to our architectural advisory committee who reviews signs and gives free advice. We have architects in there giving free advice to people coming in for facade improvements and things that are happening downtown. We've been pushing for economic development for the last, 5 years, heavily. The city is in the process of forming a Danbury downtown, Danbury Main Street partnership. We're in the process of hiring an economic developer. City Center has been key in trying to push for these things because it's not something that we can do on our own. We need everyone's help. We need your help. We've met with different factions of the Common Council at times. We've met with the Greater Danbury Chamber of Commerce. We've had meetings with both colleges, Western Connecticut State University, Montauk Valley. We want to involve as many people as we can that can come together with us and embrace the diversity and the culture that we have in downtown so that we can all move forward on the same page. And I think everybody is in favor of moving downtown forward. We have a property owner who has offered up his district into the tax district because he feels it's a valuable buy-in for him and value to be able to increase the resources of our office. So I urge you to vote for this, and thank you very much.
Any other member of the public wish to address the council on item number 3?
Good luck.
I'm Pat Orsino.
We won't
I'm out of your pay if you do.
I'm Pat Orsino, Assistant Vice President and Branch Manager of the main office of Savings Bank of Danbury, who is a major property owner in the downtown district. Our 220 Main Street, 220 Main Street building is 163 years old. So we've been around a while and we understand how important it is for the Main Street area to stay alive. We encourage the town council to extend the district lines which will provide new funding for the ongoing revitalization of the downtown Danbury area, and through the programs and special services and the capital improvements we continue, we think that we can make a better, more fun Danbury. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Marie O'Neill. I'm an Executive Vice President at Union Savings Bank. I'm also on the Board of Commissioners for City Center Danbury. And we are, as well as others who have spoken tonight, a key landowner here in Danbury, the city of Danbury, with properties at 225, 226, 116 South Main Street. So we're in City City Danbury. You also, I'm sure, are aware that Union Savings Bank is a key supporter of revitalization, not just in the downtown area, but throughout the city. Our North Street branch, in partnership with the city in South Main Street. So we are very much in favor of the expansion of the city center district, and I urge you and encourage you to support that. We do believe that revitalizing downtown, creating an urban core is critical to extending the vitalization of the city. We think that City Center Danbury does an awful lot to bring folks downtown, not just through events, but through their economic development and what they do to support the city through its downtown. So again, on behalf of Union Savings Bank, we urge you to support this expansion. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to address the city council, sir?
Hi, my name is Barry Salvini. My father and I own Hodge Insurance Agency at 283 Main Street, and I'm also on the board of City Center.
Can we move that microphone up? Just so you can-
Sorry.
Sorry, we're going to move the whole step.
Yes, should be good. I don't know if you heard me, but
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm also on the board of City Center, and as a property owner, I think our business has been around for 109 years, and it's always been somewhere on Main Street. And we've seen Main Street, have its ups and downs, but I definitely can say that people coming downtown and at least seeing our building and seeing our name, getting it out there helps us every day. And we get a lot of walking business. Downtown had more influence, more power as a district politically and funding-wise. This is from a city center point of view now. I think that's crucial to the future of Danbury. For people who want to come important work. I think we need a vibrant downtown. Somebody coming out of college and say as an outside perspective, I think that's very important. I strongly urge you guys to vote on this in favor of expanding the presence, the influence, anything to help downtown, really. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Is there any other member of the public wishing to address the council on item number 3?
I can't add to this very much, but again, the road to Danbury. I would say that when I joined the board, I did so because we were tracking what had gone on in the city center over the last few years, and we're really pleased to become associated with it more. I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that I wasn't tracking the fact that part of the parcel was in the city center and other parts of it weren't. And so when it came up, I said, well, the mission of city center will benefit Kennedy Place, Hilltop, and vice versa. It's a fit. It's a good long-term appropriate association. So we wholeheartedly support becoming in its entirety the Kennedy Place site will be part of the city center, and we look forward to the future.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to address the council on item number 3? Any other member of the public wishing to address the council on item number 3? Any other member of the public wishing to address the council on item number 3? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Vitello, second by Mr. Taylor. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstained? Ayes have it. Thank you. Public hearing is now closed. We'll now go into the committee of the whole portion of our meeting, and I would ask the clerk if you would please call the roll again.
Marcanti?
Here.
Curran?
Here.
Iucci? Here. Riley? Sebering? Stanley? Taylor?
Here.
Cola?
Here.
Agisha? Dallas? Campbell?
Here.
Sadi? Marcanti?
Here.
Trombetta? Knapp?
Here.
Nero? Perkins? Judy?
Present.
Vitello?
Here.
Keisel?
Present.
Scarpata?
Here.
The record reflect that there are 12 members present, 9 absent, and Mr. Clerk, please report the excused absences as reported in the public hearing in the minutes of the committee of the whole as well. All right. Item number 1. Restrict private businesses from sewer processing, Code of Ordinances, section 16-1 and section 16-14. What would be your pleasure, Councilman? Mr. Visconti?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to recommend that the City Council adopt the proposed amendments to section 16-1, 16-4, Code of Ordinances regarding disposal of septic at the Danbury Sewage Treatment Facility.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Teisels. A little quicker. Other discussion. Would the council prefer, if I just ask Ms. Edwards to come forward and give us just a brief synopsis of what happened? Maybe it'll help answer some questions you might have, maybe it'll bring some to the forefront. So if I could, with that,
If you can hear me, I don't need them.
we're just honored to be graced with your presence here tonight. We don't often get that.
I got some tape in my pocket if you need it, Wayne. You looked at new ones today. Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Pablo. Good evening, members of the council. Can you hear me okay? All right. Okay, thank you. I'll just very simply address for you, consistent with the charges of the committee, requested ordinance modifications before you were made to section 16-1 14 first of the Code of Ordinances. And really what that change does is it's really it's a simple change. Really 2 words are added, and the 2 words that are added require anyone who wishes to dispose of septic within the city of Danbury to dispose of it at the Danbury Sewage Treatment Facility. And what that does is that just clarifies that which is there already. It makes the language a little firmer, and it makes it clear that if you wish to dispose of septic in Danbury, you have to dispose of it at the Danbury Municipal Treatment Facility. And additionally, some changes were made to the definitional parts of the second section, which is 16-1. And really what those changes are, in section 2, we just added a further definition of sewage, which also includes effluent produced from subsurface sewage disposal systems, which are home septic systems, really. And we also made the definition of sewage works consistent with amendments that were made to the zoning regulations. So the definition of sewage works in the ordinances now parallels that which was changed in the zoning regulations. So consistent with the charge of the committee, modifications have also been made to the zoning regulations, and they work in concert together, and basically the zoning regulations were changed to change the definition of sewage works to include municipal treatment facilities allowed in the IG 80 zone in Danbury with a requirement of having 20 acres of land. And Mr. Alpern could have elaborated a little further if you needed to. But those are the basic changes that were made to these sections. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Edwards? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Alpern? Would you just briefly enlighten the council on the changes that zoning has made currently with the ordinance changes that the council is trying to make there?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Zoning amendments went into effect September 29th as follows. First of all, we define sewage works as all municipal facilities, including but not limited to the Danbury Sewage Treatment Facility, owned or operated by the city of Danbury for the purpose of collecting, pumping, treating, and disposing of sewage. This is only allowed in the IG 80 zone. This is our general industrial district. And it has a minimum acreage size of 20 acres. That's it, and that should be sufficient. We're only restricted to, gotta be owned by the city, gotta be in the IG 80 zone, it's gotta be 20 acres.
Thank you, Mr. Alpern.
By the way, our sewage treatment facility is in the IGs. We think of it.
Thank you, Mr. Alpern. Any council members have any questions for you, department heads that are here? Mr. Taylor?
So just a comment, I'd just like to make clear that I was at these meetings, that this no way impacts fees at the sewage treatment, facility. Fees are staying, there's no increase in fees. It's basically a change in language is all we're dealing with here.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Any other member of the council? Okay, we'll go to the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstaining? I'm sorry? You abstain? Okay. Please look at the records, President Mr. Scott. Okay, item number 2. Downtown municipal sewer and water fees, Code of Ordinance, section 16-4 and section 21-48. Mrs. Eichel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to recommend to the City Council adopt the proposed amendments to Section 16-4 and 21-48 of the Code of Ordinance regarding fees for sewer and water connections for properties located in the downtown revitalization zone.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Fuller. All right. For discussion, Ms. Edwards, you want to take this one? We'll save Mr. Pinter for cleanup.
Thank you, Mr. Cabo. Again, members of the council, before you, you have two proposed ordinance changes. Section 16.4, which pertains to treatment of sewer connection fees, and 2148, which pertains to water connection fees. And basically, they both have the same types of amendments in them, and these changes regard reduced connection and permit application fees for properties located within the downtown revitalization zone. So this is part of a recommendation that was made by the Main Street Renaissance Task Force, submitted in correspondence from Mr. Elper, who was part of that task force. And as I just mentioned, they propose to treat properties located in the DRZ in the same manner as properties located currently in the CBD district. And what it does is permit application fees for sewer and water services are reduced to $100, and the fees for connections are treated consistently in the same way as properties within the CBD zoning district. And those fees are all within the confines of the ordinance that you have before, the two ordinances that you have before you. Again, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Members of the council? Any questions from Ms. Edwards? Mr. Rotella?
Take a shot at the mic. Just a couple of hypotheticals.
No, please.
Well said.
Please proceed.
Okay, through the chair to Ms. Edwards, I'm sorry, Ms. Shepard.
Ms. Edwards.
Ms. Edwards.
Two of us, two Robins in the office.
Actually, I really want to talk to somebody from Public Works, but that's okay. They're not here, and I understand they're pretty busy. Do we know how much it generally costs day to day, perhaps? What it generally costs to install a meter in a typical apartment, 700, 800 square feet?
Install water meter?
Yeah.
Well, under 1 inch, we pay for that, so it's still the property owner has to pay for the plumber, and then 5 inches meter is only about $120, right? I'm pretty sure that exact.
I don't need the exact figure, but it's about 100 and...
100 and change, depending on the size, right?
The next question would be to Robin. Does this application fee include the cost of the meter, or would that be in addition to?
That's in addition to.
Okay, so they pay for the application. If I'm building a house, a 3-unit house, I want everybody to have a meter. I have to get 3 separate applications now per unit, and then I have to pay for 3 separate meters?
Only if it's private. No, right now, the policy is 1 service, 1 meter per building.
Is it possible to get a service to each unit if a property owner wanted it, or are you really discourage that?
Well, that's our policy. If you want a sub-meter, you can certainly sub-meter. That's our policy right now.
But that wouldn't be a water department meter, that would be the property owners meter, and they would then sub-bill the tenants. So if you're building a building with 50 units, you're gonna get 1 meter. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other things from Ms. Edwards? Let's go to Mr. Elper. Anything you want to share with us?
I just want to reiterate that this is, all of this, by the way, has been outlined in our study, which you all have copies. The study that was approved by the Renaissance Task Force. And that this is, you want to start talking materials. As part of a whole package of incentives to try to gain people new development downtown. And our overall goal would be to make downtown Danbury the most convivial place in the city for development. trying to level the playing field. We've already passed a number of zoning amendments, including amendments to help encourage more development of multifamily housing, parking restrictions, financial assistance. This will be coming to you in terms of an expansion of the deferral of tax assessment, opportunities that would apply to the downtown revitalization zone. You have, of course, before you right now, sewer and water service reductions, which are the same as what we now provide for the entire central business district. It's just that the DRV is larger than that. Okay? And sidewalk policy, we will take over the maintenance of sidewalks downtown the city. We correctly do that. But that'll be policy. I have my top of the pile program, which means any time an application comes in for development downtown, it goes to the top of the pile rather than the bottom of the pile, which is where everybody else goes now. And we have a proposal which will be coming to you for reduced permit fees. And we're proposing to reduce those in half. That'll be coming to you. We've already done that for zoning and subdivision permits. You'll be getting them for building permit fees, health and housing fees, fire marshal fees, and engineering fees. That's your purview because it comes under the code. So this is all part of a much broader package. And in that light, you should judge this.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Okay, anybody have anything else? Seeing none, I'll try to remind you on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Scott Brown abstain? Okay, item number 3. Expansion of city center district. Code of Ordinance section 19B4 and section 19B10. Mr. Knapp?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like the motion to recommend that the council amend Code of Ordinance Sections 19B-4, subsection A, to incorporate a new parcel into the Danbury Downtown Special Services District by revising the provision respecting boundary description, and enact Code of Ordinance Section 19B-10, setting forth the legal and boundary description of such new property. Said new property is identified as map lot number H14/356 on Kennedy Avenue.
Motion's been made by Mr. Knapp and seconded by Mr. Visconti. Under discussions? Council, Mr. Pinter, I know you've done this for us in the ad hoc.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is item number 3 on your agenda, as well as number 1 and 2 as a result of some group efforts. Robin, Dave, and Dennis working on number 1 and 2. What you see is a result of a lot of work behind the scenes. And number 3, similarly, the city center folks working very hard to try to improve the downtown district. And they approached our office to see if there was a way to, in the most efficient manner possible, add this additional property to their property bank, essentially joining the downtown special services district. So we worked on that, and what you have before you is the product of that. The ordinance itself originally was kind of silent on how you add a property, so we kind of bootstrapped a way to do it. And the way we did it is to present to you an amendment to 19B-4. That section originally had a very generic statement about that this is the boundary of the property, but there was nothing that anybody could see as to what the boundary was, except if you found the legal description someplace. So we had a little bit of trouble finding what we did. But in order to accomplish the addition of the new property, we amended, or we're asking you to amend 2 sections. One is the 19B-4, which will specify the fact that the property was added in 2011. We choose to do that at your December meeting in proper form. And then we also created a new section at the very end of Chapter 19B, which wasn't there before, and that actually adds the full description of all the properties that are in the district. So we're covered now, we don't have to go someplace else looking for it. And in the future, in 10 years, if you add another property, we would simply amend 19B-10. And that would be very easy for you to do. You still get to see it, and you'd be able to act formally so that nobody misses anything. So that's the essence of it. The Kennedy Avenue property will be allowed to come in once you adopt it in December, and then the publication 30 days afterwards, it will be official. And then the city center folks will be able to work their magic.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Painter? Mr. Keenan?
Thank you. Through the president, and my question is not really, it could be to Mr. Pinto, or it could be Andrea Gardner. When she gave her comment on the public hearing, she actually described the boundaries of the district, but the map we have in our packet is not in color. So some of the boundaries that you just described is not on our, what we see here. So if she can come up and again describe it, so I can actually write it down here. Because the way I understand it, again, to the chair, we're just adding the Kennedy Avenue piece, which is spaced from Kennedy Avenue to Rose Street, that whole section, the entire parcel. But if I looked on the colored map,
It would be the one with the slanted lines in it.
just that, and then what about the
The
dotted
colored, yeah.
orange block? What does that represent?
Can I see if
Okay, that wasn't the map I submitted.
that wasn't the map I submitted. Unless it's from there was an original packet. It is.
You gave us an original packet that had color map in it.
Okay. Well, in essence, it's, if you're familiar with the Kennedy Place parcel, which runs Rose Street around to Kennedy Avenue and back to Main, the parcel that is now currently part of the Downtown Social Services District has its boundary line along the Still River. So, say you're at got Kennedy Park to your back and you're looking at the post point, sort of looking at the property, it would be a smaller section that's off to the right, so it borders Main Street, and a portion of Kennedy and Rose Street. And the rest of the site along Kennedy, along Kennedy, then around towards Rose. Basically, it's the parcel that had the carnival on it this summer. I don't know if that just...
Again, through the chair, but on the map that's online, there's a colored map there, and they have brown dots. What does that represent? That's not part of the proposal.
I guess I would have to look at it. Should I look at it to make sure?
And while, a question to Mr. Pinto as well.
Well, why don't we take it to the record first, and then we can...
Yes, okay.
Red lots, lines, yellow and blue.
Okay, so the red dotted line is the Danbury Revitalization Zone, which was spoken about earlier. And that's the boundaries that include the recommendations for the Renaissance Main Street Task Force. So that's the new DRZ. The yellow lines that you see are the current city center boundaries. And then the portion that's in blue with slanted lines is the parcel that we're requesting be added in. Good?
Yes,
Thank you,
again, through the chair.
Mr. Pinto?
Can you, in the amendment to the ordinance, can you tell me the section where the new Kennedy Avenue lot is on here?
It's in 19B-10, it's incorporated, so that'd be the description.
Yeah, I read it through, but I didn't see it.
Well, you probably won't be able to pick it out by lot number there, but the lot number is referenced in the motion, so you'll be drawing that in based on the assessor's lot number. And that description attached, 19B-10, incorporates all the properties. And that's the way we presented it to you in order to do the legal description, formal legal description. If you'd like some additional description, we can certainly, it may not be added to the ordinance here, but we can certainly file something if you want by lot number, but that's available in the city center file. Records.
But the reason why I'm asking is, it's not consistent, because in some spots you listed street names, and then others listed lot numbers. So if I was to do the boundary by streets, I can't do it using the ordinance, because all the streets are not listed in the ordinance.
I think if there's a map attached to it, that map is acceptable to the council, that map will clarify any discrepancy or any uncertainty. But that's what we have, that's what we decided to ask you to adopt, because it's the most formal document we can adopt, and legally incorporate those properties.
So to recap what you're saying, as part of this ordinance, read the actual map, we attach to this.
I believe it is, it will be.
But it's not part of this.
19B10 is attached, and it's legal description of the property. No, if you go past the first page, and the next page, up at the top, it's not highlighted in orange, but it says 19B-10 legal description.
Right, so like the appropriation council is saying there will also be a map attached to the ordinance.
We can, yes, we intend to attach the map as well.
Okay, so the ordinance will actually have the map attached.
Yes,
to it.
yes.
That'll clarify.
That will be the way it will be published and modified.
Okay, it's just not shown that way.
That will be taken care of. You had the map originally anyway, so we will tell you that we will report or present it that way.
Mr. O'Toole?
Yeah, just to be clear, it's not this map, because this map does not include the new boundaries.
Understood. Yeah, it doesn't make the process of adopting it here effective, because you do have the legal description.
I'm simply saying.
Well, yeah.
There is some ambiguity.
Okay, we'll make sure that the proper map is attached to the adopted ordinance language.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Anything else? Mr. Taylor?
I would, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to, thank Mr. Bertram personally, I realize it will be a symbiotic relationship for him. It'll be beneficial to him as well as to the center. But it's nice to see a property owner and taxpayer come forward voluntarily to help improve the climate of the, downtown, not just the downtown, not just city center, but the whole town altogether. I'd just like to thank him personally for that.
Thank you, Bill. Anything else? Any other discussion? Try your minds on the main motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Trying to clarify the map problem.
Oh, okay. I think that Mr. O'Donnell and Mr. James have been satisfied with Mr. Pinker's promise to have a detailed map.
You have it.
Yeah, okay.
City center for this map. Last page of this packet. That's city center.
The meets and bounds are on page 13-5. The line graph.
Thank you. Well, we have the ayes. Anybody opposed? Anybody abstaining? Before we entertain a motion to adjourn, the motion passes. Thank you. Mrs. Feinschel, Mrs. Knapp made the motion, was seconded by Mr. Visconti. Before we adjourn, I want to thank Don and Joe for arriving here tonight so we were able to get this accomplished. I dreaded having to repost this and bring this all out again on another night, especially everybody from City Center. Thank you for coming tonight. I'd like to thank Bob and Nancy. This is it, as promised. I won't get you out here.
This is it, Joe?
I won't get
Is
you
that
out
what you're
here.
trying to say it's the end when they pull us back for another?
This is the end. We don't have time to do any more after this. Thank you. Thank you very much for your service. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'll need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.